a well-known fact that brain dumping and journaling are super effective tools in helping otherwise discombobulated thoughts get some sort of organization, get out of your head, stop messing with things, to provide you with an empty headspace, so to speak, by getting your ideas out onto paper. And that's why I'm so excited to share with you today the latest and greatest from Cultivate What Matters, which is one of my favorite companies with products to use, their Refresh Brain Dump Journal. Yes, that's right, a journal specifically meant for brain dumping. Okay, so maybe you've never heard the term brain dumping before, but as I kind of alluded to in the intro, while there are many different journaling practices out there, there's prayer journaling, there's writing letters to yourself, there's just writing. The idea of brain dumping is taking all of those thoughts that may or may not have a rhyme or reason. Anything from tasks on your to-do list to that thought about a conversation you had with so-and-so last Tuesday where you wish you would have said this other thing and it is haunting you in the back of your brain. All of these thoughts that are taking up valuable emotional and mental bandwidth need a place to go. Have you ever heard that if you have a problem falling asleep, you should put a journal or a notepad next to your bed so you can get thoughts out on paper as they come to you in order to get them out of your head so you can sleep? There is a reason that this is something that you hear. Writing things out, getting your thoughts out of your head and on paper is a way to provide yourself with more mental clarity, so to speak, allowing you to focus on your creative efforts, your homemaking efforts, your goals, your job, whatever it is you need to focus on without all of that mess happening in the back of your head. Brain dumping is literally the act of getting all of that discombobulation out on paper. That's the entire point of a brain dump. And Cultivate What Matters, while they have many different journals for many different things, from write the word journals where you're journaling on and reflecting on Bible verses, to planners and everything in between, I have them everywhere. Right behind me, I have blank Cultivate What Matters journals that are used for whatever type of journaling my heart desires, the write the word journals. I've never seen a product, other than a blank notebook, of course, geared towards brain dumping. And the idea behind this is just get the mess out. And Cultivate What Matters put a special spin on it that makes it just a little bit more than a notebook by giving the brain dumping some strategy, some steps, a method to the madness, if you will, a method to the madness. So I want to take you on a look inside the brain dump journal so you can get a better idea of whether or not this is a tool that you might want to add to your collection, because maybe you're somebody who's in need of brain dumping more often than you think. Let's dive in. All right, so let's take a look on the inside of this brain dump journal. I am so excited to put this to good use. First of all, the thing of note is this is not a hard cover, but a soft covered notebook, which in my opinion actually makes it feel more like a journal and less like a planner. So I kind of like that actually. And then here we have the definition of a brain dump. A brain dump is the practice of freely and comprehensively transferring one's jumbled thoughts to the page through writing with the goal of bringing order to chaos. So what it starts with is some background and benefits to brain dumping as a practice, kind of the steps and how this journal helps you, different ways that you can use the journal. And the first page I want to actually focus on is this, because this is important to understand the layout of the actual journal. So on each page, you will see a place for the actual dumping of your brain, and then you will see a matrix of some kind. And what this page tells you is kind of how different ways that you can actually use this little matrix setup. The first is the Eisenhower matrix, and this is when you categorize your tasks that you create, your actions, by two different things, whether or not they are urgent and whether or not they are important. And based on those two categories, you put them here. So urgent and important, important but less urgent, urgent but less important, and less urgent and less important. And then as you go through and sort through your mind stuff, your brain dump, and come up with actions within that, you can put them in an Eisenhower matrix. The next option for your matrix is by category. So you could pick 4 recurring categories that you see. The example here is family, work, creative, and community, but you can use any of them if you find that there's fitness stuff, spiritual stuff, personal development stuff, whatever the case may be. By time is more of a It's a less specific version of the Eisenhower matrix, so you could just categorize them by things I need to do now, next, later, and never, which is also a really, really helpful thing to categorize, because sometimes you just need to categorize things that end up in a never pile, because then you can just eliminate them and stop thinking about them and be like, oh, that's not something I need to do. And then you can do by type of task: to complete, to delegate, concerns to resolve, and things to communicate. These are obviously just 4 of many other examples that you could create yourself. If you have a suggestion for 4 categories that you would put in your little matrix, let me know in the comments below. And then there's the junk drawer type thing that just gives you a little bit more insight. So that's it. That's the preliminary stuff in the notebook. It's just little bits of information, the how-to, and things like that. So now you have 3 different types of pages that you will find throughout the rest of this journal. The first is the brain dump page, and this is what every page looks like. Can you see that? So we have a grid page on the left, and then you have a date where you can literally circle what month and what day it is. So it's any day. This is completely undated. You can do it every single day, once a week, only when the spirit moves you, however it is you want to do it. So what you do here is you dump all of your thoughts, the things that are keeping you up at night, the things that are keeping your brain reeling. This is also a really great way to do the morning pages practice, I think, or something that resembles the morning pages practice, which is in the book The Artist's Way by Julie Cameron, I think her name is, and I'll link it down below. It's a book that's primarily for creative artist types. However, I find that you can use it in any capacity. And so what I used to do, I go through phases of journaling in the morning, and a lot of times the journaling will end up being just a brain dump. And the concept of the morning pages is just to brain dump, get everything that could be taking up your creative energy and put it on a page. So this is another way that you could do the morning pages. So on here, you brain dump any and all thoughts that you have. And then based on some of the suggestions earlier in the book, you can go through and categorize and highlight and figure out what tasks, what actions are there that you might be able to do to help resolve the brain dump issues. And then what you can do is take everything that you put on the page, and then as you can see, there's a blank matrix here, which is where you fill in your desired matrix to organize the thoughts that are here. And that is all this first section is brain dump and empty matrix. And it goes until, let's see, this is a majority of the notebook. Here we go. I have not counted exactly how many pages, but it is a very solid portion of the notebook as those brain dumping pages. The next section we have here is the journaling list pages, and I'm a fan of this, primarily because I love a good list, right? So what this is I think there's 2 different ways that you might be able to do this. You could, in and of itself, use this as a brain dumping tool, but let's say June 24th is the day, and your brain dump, your entire brain dump, I'm sitting down because all I can think about is what I have to do. This would be a really great way to just brain dump without having to like journal it, but just brain dump. What do I have to do? I have to do the laundry. I have to renew my car registration. I have to film videos. I have to content plan. I need to go have coffee with a friend. I have to do a load of laundry. I have to make sure I go and pick up my prescription. I have to, in 3 weeks, I have a really important meeting that I'm preparing for. I have a launch in a month and a half. I'm just throwing things out there. None of this is actually true. All of the things that are reeling in my head, I can write down in a checklist, to-do list form. And then the organizational aspect of it could be, what day is it actually due? And then using that, I can figure out, well, what is priority, what is urgent, things of that nature, and just use it as a task list. And so like that could be the brain dump in and of itself. Alternatively, another option would be taking the brain dump information that you have over here and turning your brain dumps into an ongoing task list. So there are a couple of ways that one could use this task list thing, but I love me a good task list. There is also a significant amount, as you can see, not as many as the brain dumping portion, but a significant amount of tasks as well. And then there's journaling open pages. So literally all this is, there's no matrix, there's no nothing, it's just a blank, not even dot grid page. So if you just need to brain dump, if you just need to journal it out, if you just need to, I don't know, doodle, draw a picture, whatever the case may be, there is that journaling method as well. And that is what the rest of the book entails, is blank pages for journaling. So as you can see, this tool offers a couple of different methods depending on what you're in the mood for on a given day, or depending on your journaling, brain dumping preference. I love the idea of this brain dump journal. It actually, getting it in my hands and knowing I was going to review it made me purchase it. But I was like, now that I've looked at it, it really kind of makes me want to do brain dumping in the morning again and do my morning pages, which is really, really exciting. So as I work through this book and see whether or not it helps me, I will let you know. This is the Cultivate What Matters Refresh Brain Dump Journal. So that was a look at the inside of the Cultivate What Matters Brain Dump Journal. Let me know in the comments below. Is this a tool that you find interesting or a tool that you might pass on? I personally cannot wait to use it because I'm really interested to see if it will help encourage me to pick a journaling practice back up. Honestly, I haven't been as into journaling lately as I have been in the past. And while part of me really does miss it, another part of me is like, what's the point? But I feel like this might give me some guided journaling, but not in a way that it's a guided journal. Obviously, it's not giving me prompts to journal on, but it's being like, okay, here, get all the crap out of your head, put it on paper, and now let's do something with it. And I think sometimes the now let's do something with it is often the part that's missing in brain dumping. I think too often all we do is we're like, okay, I gotta get this out on paper. We write out, we stream of consciousness, brain dump whatever's on our mind, and then that's it. We leave it and we consider it to be resolved, even though no action was taken, nothing was done to resolve anything that was in the brain dump. And I think this might provide enough structure where if there was a resolution to be found, I would be able to do it thanks to the tool that is this brain journal. So I am, for one, really, really excited to see what using this tool does for me. Maybe it does nothing. I don't know. Maybe I don't find any more value in this tool than a blank notebook, but there is only one way to find out, and that is to use it. If this is something that you are interested in, I am an affiliate of Cultivate What Matters, which means, yes, I gain a commission when you use my code, but I have a code for you. Use the code Diva and the Divine to get yourself a 10% discount off of any purchase at the Cultivate What Matters website, but especially if you want this bad boy. And that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't get to do like looks into planner products as often anymore because I'm just quite frankly not using them as often. So when I do have something new to share, I take advantage of the opportunity. I hope you liked this video and I will see you next time. Bye.